Let's build a dock today on... No, I already did that. Let's build a cell today on... No, wait. Let's actually build a watchtower today on... No. Okay, I think I got it. Let's build a lighthouse today on Franky D. Crafter. Now the thumbnail's gonna ruin the punchline here. Ah, I think I actually got it. Let's build a ladder today on Franky D. Crafter. Let's start by getting all of the repetitive work out of the way. We're gonna make planks for the platforms and the steps. We're making these out of popsicle sticks. I found this useful tool to add texture to my popsicle sticks. If anyone knows what these are called, please let me know in the comment section below. I'll put some music and just meditate while I get these done. It's a good idea to make more than you think you'll need, and I mean a lot more. Next, we continue to do more tedious work by getting the bricks ready. I don't bother to measure them. I want this lighthouse to have some personality. Again, make more than you think you'll need. I textured them in a box with stones. If you don't feel like you're working out when you're doing this, then you're doing something wrong. Yeah, that seems about right. That seems like enough texture. Now we can start on our actual lighthouse. I start with a container of oats. I cut it out as the first floor. I'm going to also cut a door. I don't plan to have the inside playable, but I do want it to set the mood for the encounter. Maybe with a little bit of red light inside of it to make it look mysterious or dangerous. I use the door cutout as the frame for the actual door. I use some of my planks and cardstock and some PVA glue. I glue it back onto the lighthouse, slightly opened. When cutting out the windows, make sure to be aware of where your weak little fingers are. I've heard about accidents in our hobby, and I'm glad that the worst I've ever had is a hot glue gun burn. From here we just add toothpicks to the windows as bars. We're gonna cut some bricks into different shapes. These bricks will be used to outline the doors and part of the windows. The other bricks can be used as they are for the walls. I use PVA glue to glue the bricks. This might be a bigger pain in the ass process, but I like the results. If you decide to go with this method, make sure to put something underneath the craft while it dries. Something like a metal tray to catch the extra glue that will inevitably drip from your project. I cut a piece of cardboard to act as the platform for the higher level. I glued the lid from the original container to be able to close it and open it whenever I want to. I want some party lights for this section of the tower. I glue some bricks and get my planks ready. Painting this should be simple enough after priming it. I dry brush multiple layers of gray. At first I thought I wanted to make this neat and professional, but then I thought that's not my style. I use PVA glue and hot glue on every single plank I glue. The hot glue will hold it properly while I work on it, while the PVA glue will hold it better long term. I use a wash on the wood. I let that dry and proceed to dry brush light gray to edge the wood just a bit. I'll let that dry and start on the second floor. I want to make this tower modular. That way if I make another building, I can just replace the top of it and call it a day. At the same time, this bottom part can be used as a dock. This is another reason why I went with this loose approach for the railing. Looking at these pictures makes me want to redo my docks again actually. Oh well, that's for some other time. And that's that for the first floor. As for the second floor, this seems to be about the right size container. We cut out the windows just like before. And just like before, be careful. Take your time. Don't cut yourself. As for the door, pretty much the same thing, only this time I don't bother to cut it out, I leave it closed. I feel like once we make one brick building, you know what to do for the next, or what not to do. On this building, I will concentrate more on the differences, the steps leading to the very top. I figured that the best way to support these would be by actually cutting into the container and sticking the planks through it, adding hot glue on the other side, leaving enough space for the bricks and a 1-inch base mini. I add supports to the steps, more for the looks than the actual support, but I should have held off on this step until I painted the bricks. Oh well, I mess up, so you don't have to. I'm gonna stop the steps about 2.5 inches from the top because I want to include a bonus build, a tiny ladder. With the planks from earlier, I'm gonna make 2 long thin planks and a bunch of smaller yet thin planks. I use PVA glue and let that baby dry. Add a wash, a dry brush, and call it a day. Bonus craft. I get to the top and I figure I try to make this roof look different than the last one, so I Frankenstein the crap out of it. I'm surprised it even worked. For the railing, I added an extra horizontal plank, which I realized I didn't do on the other platforms, and on the other floor. Don't worry, I'll fix that in post. Okay, that's that for that. We could call it a day and say we got a good looking guard tower. But it's not good enough for me. You see this spot right here? That's an island on my map. You notice how empty that spot looks? Well, wouldn't a lighthouse look great there? Let's make a platform for the light on the lighthouse. This time we will use a Pringles can. Make sure it's the end with the top. I plan to use the top here again. The great thing about the Pringles can is that it has a nice reflective inside layer. I plan to utilize that. Just like I plan to utilize this Christmas ball that I think would look great at the top of my lighthouse. I take one half of it and glue it to my Pringles top. The top is clear, so it will allow some of the light into the Christmas decoration. We need to make big windows for the light on the top. No, not that light. I need some LED lights on steroids. Yeah, that's the one right there. We add the planks and the bricks to this and call it a day. Well, not quite yet. We still need to paint the top of the lighthouse. But first, we need to add a layer of PVA glue to all of the areas that we plan to paint. Paint doesn't stick to smooth plastics very well. And for the paint, I went with a copper color on this. All there is to do now is flock. For now. We can always change the top and change the purpose of the building. We could always craft a mill or whatever. One last tip before you do call it a day is to restock on your bricks and your planks. Having these materials in hand can go a long way on future builds. It's always better to not interrupt the flow of creativity in the middle of a project just to make more material. I would love to hear your thoughts on the build in the comment section below. Maybe some ideas on what you would put on top or change. I'm a fan of anything modular. It allows me to use versatile crafts over and over again without having to craft something new. Like always, let's thank the patrons for supporting the channel and giving me the opportunity to craft for you. If you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, please follow the link in the description of any of my videos. Don't forget to check out some of the other content while you wait for the next episode, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace!